I was just watching this interview between Alex Hormozy and what's his name? Harley something. His name starts with an F. Last name starts with an F. But he basically he's a guy from Shopify. First non-engineer to join Shopify. I believe now he's the chief storyteller, whatever it is. I think the guy's, well, obviously he saw Shopify getting built up from nothing. I think he's got a pretty great story. Yeah, man. He was talking about basically how, I think their mentality is super similar to Amazon. They're just like super client obsessed, so user obsessed. So in their case, it's for merchants, right? Like they do the most they can for merchants. And I think they highlight this really big thing. It was actually Alex that points this out, but it's like, don't look at how much the other guy is making, because it can make you get greedy. And I think this is a big thing that I have felt before, and I think a lot of young people feel. Actually, I saw this one guy posting who was totally banking on it. He was like, I don't know, people are starting SMMAs when really you could just start the entire store yourself and own all of the upside and like all this stuff. And it's like, I actually think that's a fallacy, because in any business you have to generate value for other people. So yeah, sure, you can own the upside if you run the ads yourself for your own product, but then you have all the responsibility of making the product good as well, right? Like an SMMA, you only have to get the word out effectively. Now, I'm not in that business model. I'm not the most knowledgeable about it, but Alex said that he found this principle that like, you have to make the other people, like in the biggest businesses, etc., you have to make your whoever you're generating value for, you have to kind of make 10 times whatever you want to make. So if you want to make $1 billion, you got to generate for other people 10 billion. I think that's a really nice principle. I think that was one of the best interviews I've watched in a while. I've recently found myself kind of browsing through YouTube and feeling like there's absolutely fucking nothing on this platform that I feel like watching, which I think is a good thing. I think that's like, to some extent, also a sign of, I don't know. I've always felt like over time I would spend less time on useless stuff, and yeah, but this interview was a particularly good one. It's like an hour and a half. It's pretty long. Also, total sidetrack, but I'm finding that recording these videos has helped me really notice how much I use filler words like and It's really starting to bother me and nag at me every time I watch some of these back. I think I did it again. I have to lose that habit, start pausing a little bit more. I don't think I generally have too many challenges in terms of being an orator. I've spoken publicly in a lot of different contexts, but it's funny how that's a reflex. I feel comfortable talking in front of people, but I think it's this built-in reflex that I'm noticing is incredibly hard to be conscious about. So that's been something nice that I'm just taking a little more stock of. Incredibly unrelated though. Anyway, I think it's got me thinking a lot about what's the business that I'm building that can, or I'm thinking a lot about the vehicle where I can generate those kinds of 10x returns for stakeholders or whoever. Now, you have to be able to generate those 10x returns by only solving one problem, right? Because if you try and solve too many problems, it becomes incredibly hard to scale. And that's the whole thesis of basically like the first I think, chapter or 2 chapters from the book From Impossible to Inevitable, which I think is a great book. Now, I don't think my current business, which is a software development agency, it's not necessarily gonna become Shopify or Amazon. I think it's really a start to learn a lot of the key business lessons. I think I recognize it's not going to be the biggest vehicle, but the idea is that it's the best vehicle for me to learn, because cost of failure is 0. It's an agency. It's profitable from the ground up. It's a really nice kind of training ground. Other things that I've been thinking about recently, small things. Firstly, I realized, like, you just gotta find the things that do it for you. I had a pretty shit day yesterday. Like, sometimes you eat shit, things don't get done. That pisses me off. Yeah. Also, just I've started putting a couple of these videos out, scheduled some stuff like that. It's pretty terrifying, to be honest, because I know that all it takes is somebody to Google search my name. People who know me just find this stuff. I feel awkward about that. I'm having all the normal doubts that anybody who starts posting stuff probably feels, and learning to be okay with it slowly. Also, I think it's important to recognize that you will suck. I was just looking at some of the stuff I made, like, even just 1-2 years ago. That's really shit. Like, it's just bad. It's cringy. And then I realized, well, that's pretty much what I signed up for. Like, that's the point. That means I've made progress since, which is good. But it also means the stuff I'm producing now is almost certainly terrible compared to what I'll come to make. But you just have to take that for granted. Too many people get caught up about making the best stuff right off the bat. It's never going to happen. You got to work toward it, right? That has to be your ambition, is to work to making the best stuff eventually. You're never going to start there. So you just have to be okay with the fact that when you start, you're probably going to make pretty dog shit stuff. And, I even watch some of the stuff now and I'm like, God, I cringe incredibly hard, but that's all right. I'm okay with that. Anyway, today is Sunday, and after yesterday being just shit, I think it was one of the less productive weeks I've had in a while. So I'm taking it a little more easy today. I'm doing this stuff which I feel more energetic about. Because next week I gotta go through much more stuff. I'm only going to take a break as long as I believe that it will make me more productive for the rest of the week, because then I think that's obviously worth it. I don't just take a break for the sake of it. But also, I'm glad to feel like there's nothing else I'd rather be doing. Like, I feel pretty shit just doing something else. Like, I really do enjoy the business, like the day-to-day stuff. If it's not that, sleeping, eating, or going to the gym, I enjoy it a lot. So anyway, I'm rambling. Gonna get back home. Gonna finish off that interview. I've got like 15 minutes to go. And then gonna check out what a candidate sent me for his take-home. I gave him a technical test called a take-home, and oh shit, it's windy.